So I've been going through lots of challenges lately, and the problem of not being productive enough but being lazy is killing me. I started this channel with just one goal in mind: be productive. So I've tried changes and tweaks in front of and off camera, hoping to get the result I needed. I'm the kind of person who bites off more than he can chew. I put so many responsibilities on my shoulders and expect myself to work just as perfectly, because this is what Jason should be doing. And if he can do all of them, then he is a stupid failure. And I also put even more responsibilities on the future Jason, because this is what future Jason should be doing. Quite frankly, I don't know why I do all of this to myself, but I think I just do it unconsciously without thinking. This is not my problem though. My problem is not that I'm overdoing myself. My problem is that I cannot even do one of them, or at least correctly. Balancing all of your responsibilities at once, and maintaining your health throughout the process, and doing the things you want to do, and getting enough break, and not losing your sanity would need a pro. But I'm not. And again, I'm not losing my sanity because I'm overwhelmed with things to do. I'm losing my sanity because I cannot even do one of them, or at least correctly. How do I know I'm not overdoing stuff? Well, when finals came, I dedicated 100% of my time just to study for those finals. Except I fucked up big time. When finals came, 50% of my day was just me wasting time, 45% was sleeping, and 5% were actually studying 5 minutes before an exam. So I had a plan B where I usually write down any problem I have and then piece it out to smaller parts and strike it down little by little. But all I could think of is just I'm lost and I'm lazy. So the following day I go to work and spend my 9 hours shift just thinking about what my problem is, and thank God nobody saw or heard me because they would have probably thought that I'm a crazy person. And after talking to myself, I realized that my problem in general is that I cannot develop intrinsic motivation. And don't get me wrong, I do have a dream, and a big one in fact. So why can't I seem to develop motivation for the sake of that dream? It took all the air in my lungs just to admit it, but I'm afraid of the infinite possibilities of the future. I'm afraid that one day I'll make a decision and work so hard for it, and then it turns out to be a different decision that I'll make in the future. I feel like I cannot relate to the future me, afraid of what he might become. That's why I never build an emotional connection between me and the future me. That's why I rarely plan anything further than a day at most. I'm afraid of what might become of me. But obviously that's wrong. You need to trust in the future you, because you won't work so hard to become, say, an engineer for your entire life and suddenly become a doctor all of a sudden. Unless that's what the future you decided and he didn't decide it for no. Or is it will no? Well, he did will... Never take the future you as a different person. Take him as the much better and improved version of you. Even if you're going through a crisis right now, for example, and think that the past you was better, happier, wealthier, even more productive, that is just a think of the past. That is just your imaginary. That is just thinking that maybe at that specific point of time I was more productive. But in general, I wasn't as wise, as smart, as productive, as disciplined. This is just a temporary thing that just comes and goes eventually. This crisis you're going through is just another experience in the giant school of life. And after all, isn't the future you the result of his past actions, aka your present actions? With the fear of future, I distanced myself from my dream. And my dream is the thing that generates my intrinsic motivation. So with being away from it, I would never have a view in the future, therefore not having a futuristic dream, and so not having anything to motivate me to go forward. But believe it or not, that still doesn't solve my problem. That's just a note to take. Admitting it alone will not make me suddenly more productive. I need to actually take action. I also wanted to tap in on the fact that I thought that those experiments would make me more productive. They were obviously inspired by the much greater YouTuber Matt Diavella, and I thought those experiments would make me a better person. But I was wrong. in a way.
Now I realized that people who are disciplined are the only ones who can make those experiments stick, and not the other way around. People who have enough willpower are the only ones who would do whatever they'd want to do, because it's easy.
I thought that I was eventually gonna find that one experiment that'd change me and turn me into a being with a productivity power level of over 9,000, but that is wrong. I realized that actual disciplined people are the only ones who can make those habits stick with ease.
And as I understood the results backwards, I also understood the road backwards. You need those experiments, but not because you'll find one eventually that intrigues you and makes you a better person. It's about the collective attempts. It's eventually the collective attempts that matter. It's about doing those experiments and not about what they are. It's basically just doing them over and over again.
With time and effort, more mental than physical, you'll eventually reach there for sure. But I've been trying to be productive for almost 3 years now. And to be honest, I'm still at ground zero. Looking back at my own discipline and my current one, it's all still the same. But that doesn't mean I should stop, because as cheesy as it is true that a failure is not a person who repeatedly fails, but a person who declares that he gave up. So, how do you develop self-discipline? Well, is it just willpower? Well, yeah, pretty much, but I think that there might be something else that we might be missing. Hear me out.
Yesterday I thought that intrinsic motivation doesn't necessarily have to be a good dream. A man could have intrinsic motivation to get his revenge, so he would work the life force out of himself just to get that revenge.
So my idea in general is, if you change your mentality to the emotion that follows that dream of yours, would that change your behavior also? So if a man's dream is to save the world, he probably can do it if he hates everyone. I thought of that idea from Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Side of Dimension. Aigami's mission is to recreate the world into a world that knows nothing of hate, but then Yugi says, and I quote, "You say that we hate, well, from what I see, that's all that fuels you, so there's no way you can create a world without it." And that's when it hit me. So if my dream is a positive one, is positivity the key to achieve it?
I don't see myself as a very positive person. In fact, I don't see myself as a positive person at all. So maybe that's what's holding me back. But I still know nothing about positivity or how to apply it to my life.
But this video has gone long enough. This is planned to be a 2 or maybe 3-part series. The Epiphany, the research, and the experiment. I hope I don't get off schedule, but I want to know everything about it before coming to you and acting like I know everything about it. Then after that, I'll immediately plan it, apply it, and try it. This video is called Epiphany because all my ideas are written on the moment and nothing is pre-planned about them. And as cringy as the name is, I couldn't find anything else, but you know how creative I am with names, yeah, like, you know my channel's name and all. So I wrote what came into my mind and hoped I could get anything good from it. And I think I actually did. This is the part where I say, and so I did, for every single other video or experiment or idea I've had. But I gotta be productive. So, see you later, and goodbye.